Somebody asked me what was in this deck, and playing isn't working very well today. So let's go through this thing. It's a tricolor. It's got 6 island and then 4 and 4 respectively of black and red mana. And I think that's pretty good because then we also have these 3 guys sitting right here. We're just a little bit cockeye of my the normal way I play this game when I'm drafting. When you've got a 40 card pool, is it's 16, 16, and 8 is usually what I do, meaning 16 lands, 16 creatures, and then 8 spells. And those spells generally are removal spells because removal is very, very useful in Sealed. Or combat tricks, because combat tricks can win you the game, because there aren't as many ways to deal with, split-second math. So that's usually what I do when I'm building a draft deck like this, or a sealed deck like this, but this is not what we did this time, obviously, because this is a gimmick deck. Like I said, somebody wanted to specifically see this. I think we made a video about it before, and I don't have that person's name right in front of me. I could look it up on my phone, but then the video would grind to a halt, and the whole world as we know it would stop existing. So we're going to take a look at what's in this deck. We don't really care what's out of it because you can get a bunch of garbage in here that's not really good. The only thing that used to be in the deck originally when I first made it was Ring of 3 Wishes, and we have subsequently got rid of that, and we put in Diabolic Revelation because it gels way better with the other cards that I have. And that was actually pointed out to me by a YouTube viewer who was like, why don't you just do this? It has so much more of a synergistic tendency with this deck than Ring of 3 Wishes. I was really trying to dig my way out of saying the way I phrased that sentence. I think I did okay. First thing that I put in here was Elixir Immortality. Really, let's just run through the whole thing. We got 1 Elixir, and then we'll talk about strategies and stuff like this. We were lucky enough to open 4 Shocks, which is great. We've only got 1 Fog Bank. I'd run more if I could. Fog Bank's a great early game deterrent. It's going to slow your opponents down, have them waste removal even, which is fantastic. It really lends itself well to this deck. Ravenous Rats is fun. We get to play it multiple times. Card draw is amazing. Mind Spring draws cards. It's really good for us. Frost Breath is it's kind of situational, but it is going to allow us to kind of slow them down and get an extra turn. Sometimes that's all we need. Grim Return's fantastic. Murder is a really valuable card in this deck as well because it can kill absolutely anything. Divination, more card draw, is very important in this pile because, what we have going on here with the Elixir Immortalities, we're going to keep reusing the cards, and, you're going to see why we get into this when we have a 4-pack of Archaeomancers here. And of course, we also have the clones. We can clone out the Archaeomancer. We can even clone out the Runescarred Demon, who was our rare card that we got, or really good card that we got. Wow, I'm stuttering all over the place. It just shows that I haven't deck teched in a very long time. But that's pretty much what we're doing because we're digging, we're searching through all that stuff. We're trying to find one man's trash and make it our treasure. And that's what we're doing with Clone, which is an amazing card, and Archaeomancer. I was trying really hard not to reference that song, but it was just playing in my head. Switcheroo is good because we have a lot of really small, useless animals in the deck, and we can go ahead and steal something of theirs and then reuse it. That's obviously what this deck does, is it reuses the pile constantly. So Elixir is very valuable for that because we can get our creatures back that die, and then, of course, Revelation is the other half of that. And that's a very important part of this puzzle as well, because we can use it early game just to get 1 card that we need, probably this guy. Then we can, do some Archaeomancer. We can do all sorts of fun stuff. We've also got 1 more removal spell in the form of Public Execution, which is actually fantastic, because I don't have a lot of big dudes. Got a lot of 1/1s and stuff. Pub X is actually going to allow me to remove 1 creature from the board, which is great, for obvious reasons, but it's also going to give all my opponent's creatures -2, -0, which allows me to double block and do all sorts of crazy things, especially if they're tapped down. I don't have to worry about their combat tricks coming out and getting me. And that's pretty much the deck as far as strategy for this. Like I said, it's basically recycling, which is what we could have called it, what we should have called it, actually. But burning your garbage, that's what this is. And the shocks obviously are the reason why we have that red in there, and that's also part of the build of this, is that we don't need a lot of red, but we want red turn 1. That's why we've got 4 of them. I use a lot of math a lot of ratios and stuff when I'm coming up with my averages for mana. So it's actually pretty complicated the way that I look at mana curves and stuff like that, but just a rule of thumb, if you want to just take a quick look at it, is you count up your mana symbols, and then that's what you base all your ratios off of. So obviously blue is what we really need the most of, and we need blue for our cycling tricks as well. And then black, by the time we need our double blacks, except for murder, by the time we need our double blacks, that's late game, so we've probably found them by now because we are chewing through the vast majority of our cards. So this was just a real quick little deck tech, a little bit of advice on drafting, perhaps. I haven't drafted in a very long time, not any of the new set. I've actually been talking to Andrew ad infinitum, it seems like. We're trying, I know I've been going and talking about this to you guys for a long time, but we're trying to get some drafting on Magic the Gathering Online going, perhaps. Because that'll be fun. That's a nice little thing. It's just the UI is so goddamn ugly. I just wish they would marry this UI with that, but that's not what we're getting into right now. So that's pretty much that particular deck. I hope you enjoyed this quick little baby video. I think it's something that I was specifically asked for. I know that we went over it before, but that's just kind of a refresher course and a little bit of a tutorial on how I build decks and the strategy therein of that particular deck. We can get in to way more detailed stuff. It's just, if we use this game as a catalyst, that's fine, but I also have tons of Magic cards actually just lying around. So if you guys would like to really delve into deck building strategy and the math behind mana ratios and curves and stuff like that, I'd actually be really happy to do that. I'm by no means a professional player, though. Like, there are videos out there by better players than I that you could obviously reference as well. But if you in particular would like to hear my take on that kind of stuff, let me know, because that's something that I would be interested in doing. I just never thought that the audience would be there. So just let me know about that, because that is something that I actually would really enjoy. Thanks a lot for watching this video. It's just a little extra one-off type thing. I'll probably be posting it with another video, hopefully, so tune in to the other video as well. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I really appreciate all the viewership, and I just punched the table. I was probably really loud. Hopefully I can edit that out. Thanks a lot, and I will see you all next time.